If you all do not know me, my name is Seth Montgomery. Graduated from Riverside in 2016. You're probably like, oh wow, that's a long time ago. But yeah. And then I went to, so I graduated from Riverside High School in 2016. Went to college at East Tennessee State University, which is in Johnson City, 6 hours away from here. Yeah, yeah, good little piece of drive. But he laid on my heart to go there to school, to East Tennessee State University. And I just want to speak to y'all this evening because he laid this on my heart to speak to y'all, and it's like what to do at a crossroads. And that's what I experienced all last year, struggling with school online, trying to figure out what my purpose was. And I think it's all something that we can relate to, especially you high schoolers that are about to graduate. You're deciding what you want to do with your life. Should I do this, what the world's telling me to do, or should I do this about what's God telling me to do? And I just want to give you the definition of what it means to be at a crossroad. The definition of a crossroad is a crucial point, especially where a decision must be made. And the crossroad that I was at is, should I pursue well, I want to be a teacher at first, and to teach communications and write for radio, TV, and film. That's what the world wanted me to do, and then God was putting in my heart, hey, I think you should pursue youth ministry. And then I was like, I don't know about that, Lord. I really want to pursue teaching, make an impact in the classroom. But he's like, no, I can use you in youth ministry. And I was trying to force doors open up there, and they were just shutting, and I knew it was time for me to come home, time for me to get back spiritual where I was before I left for school, and help Pastor Thomas here and help him mold me into what my spiritual gift wants to be. So talking about crossroads, and Matthew 7:13 through 14 says, enter through the narrow gate, for wide is the gate and broad is the road that leads to destruction, and many enter through it. But small is the gate and narrow the road that leads to life, and only a few find it. Okay. What Matthew 7:13 through 14 is saying is, yeah, we can all take a crossroad. For example, this one here could be, this is what God's telling you to do. Even though it's going to be rough, it's going to be a struggle, and it's going to be like, there's going to be times you want to give up, but it will be rewarding. And this road here is of the world. And it's like Satan telling us, hey, if you want an easy way out, take this one. Even though you don't have to worry about giving up, you won't have to worry about putting in work or effort. But with that, if you choose that route, it comes with sin. It comes with what the world wants you to be instead of what Christ wants you to be. And throughout the Bible, when I was doing my research this weekend, there were many people that were at a crossroads. For example, that first came to mind for me was Jonah. We all know the story of Jonah. When Jonah was called to go to Nineveh. The Lord told Jonah to go to Nineveh, but he was like, no, Lord, I do not want to go to Nineveh. So he fled. He was getting on a boat to Tarshish, and God sent a storm. And during that time, because he was running away from the path God wanted him to take, he wanted to take the easy way out. He didn't want to put in effort. He didn't want to put in work, and he did not want to do what the Lord told him to do. So with that, he sent a storm. Because He's like, no, you're going to Nineveh and you're going to spread the gospel. And when he did that, when he arrived to Nineveh, he did amazing things. A lot of people got saved, and he saved the city from destruction. And I know all of us at one point in life will come to a crossroad. You'll be like, Lord, should I take this path of what the world offers, or should I take your path?
Yeah.
And even though it's going to be rough, there will be struggles, there will be times I want to give up, but if you take that path, it will be rewarding, it will be amazing, and you would get to grow with Christ. And it's just a blessing if you take that road. But if you take the path that the Lord tells you to, and people want you to take the other path, if you lose those people that tell you to take that path that tells you, to take the path of the world, then they're not your true friends. Your true friends would support you with the road that you're calling to take. Look, Jesus only had 12 disciples. He only had 12 core friends. You need those two core friends that support you no matter what. And that's what is mainly important, just having those people to help you make that decision when you come to a crossroad.
Yeah.
Because like this topic really, really hit me because, like I said earlier, just trying to figure out the school, and it was really rough. There was times where I wanted to give up. There was times, I'll just take the easy way out and live in the world, live of sin. And there was times that I did. There was times where I was struggling with drinking. There was times where I was struggling with relationships. I was on the brink of destruction. There was times where I was just sitting in my room. I was what do I do, Lord? And it did not take it took prayer, fasting, and seeking spiritual advice to tell me which road that I needed to take. And another point, Satan will do whatever it takes to have an influence. He'll tell you, hey, you really want to put in that work? You really want to put in that effort? Because I can give you this easy way out. But it's easy. You'll be fine. Yeah, just live in the world, party it up. But then God's telling us, just trust me. Because another story that I want to relate to you is when Peter stepped out of the boat and God said, hey, Peter, keep your eyes on me. If you take your eyes off me, you will drown. You will fall in the water. And Peter was doing fine. When he was keeping his eyes on Christ, he was doing it. He was walking. But as soon as the world was involved, he drowned. He fell in the water. And if we take that path of the world, we're going to drown in sin, which is drugs, alcohol, lustful thoughts, anything that the world provides. If we take our eyes off Christ, that's what we'll fall into. And then when Peter got out of the water, he said, hey, Peter, why'd you take your eyes off me? And he's like, I was scared, Lord. We don't need to be scared. There'll be times where we feel that we will be scared. But you have to trust, because even though trust can be difficult for us, we're all of human flesh. You just have to surround yourself with people that you can trust, because trust is a big, big thing. I know some of us can struggle with trust. But if you can't trust your friend group, go to your pastors, because that's your spiritual leader that you can always, always, always trust. I got here. When we all struggle, we're even scared to take what path we want to take in life. Christ will make the path straighter. Proverbs 3:6 says, seek his will in all you do, and he will show you which path to take. What that means is what Proverbs says 3:6. What Proverbs 3:6 says here, in all your ways submit to him, he will make your path straighter. When we submit to Christ, what Pastor Thomas was mentioning earlier, when we submit him in worship, when we submit him in our daily lives, whether it's in school, sports, extracurricular activities, when we submit in him, he will make our path straighter. Going back to Matthew 13:14, it says, but the small is the gate and narrow road that leads to life, only a few will find it. When it says only a few, there will be only a few of us that will find that narrow path. There'll be many of us that will want to live in the world, but you can be one of those few to take that path. You can be one of those few, and if you take that path, your friend group, your family will be like, well, since he took a risk, why not I take that risk too? Why not, if he's trusting, why not I trust as well? when you do that, when you start being a leader like Christ was, then people will follow.
Yeah.
People will follow. Like Jesus did with his 12. They followed him. They didn't know what they were going to get into. He's just like, trust me. And they're like, okay. I mean, they left their families, they left their jobs, but they trusted him.
Yeah.
And that's what we should do. I mean, I know this last year was all crazy for us all. I mean, 2020 was just rough for all of us. But why not this year, you take a risk and take that narrow path. Yes, it will be difficult. Yes, there will, like I said earlier, like Satan, like being a true follower of Christ, Satan will test you. Like he will test you. Like you seniors going off to school, he will test your faith. Like majority of college students that go, majority of freshmen that attend the school, they will, most of them lose their faith going into college. Mm-hmm. They do. I've seen it. I've witnessed it. Like college, and if you don't go to 4 years, if you go to technical school, if you go anywhere, he will test you. And it's your decision there which path you want to take. Like if you take the one with Christ, he will bless you through school. Like he will reward you. But college, college is a whole new ballgame. Different ballgame. Like you're gonna have influencers left and right. But it's your job there to stand, put on your armor, and trust that path. Because when I went to school, I knew no one. So I was like, okay, God, I'll trust you. It was there where I got involved in campus ministry and involved in church up there that really, really helped me stay on my path. Even though I wanted to give up, there was times where that was stressful, and there was times where I just called my parents crying. I didn't know what to do. There were just times where I had to leave home, leave my house up there and just, okay, Lord, what should I do next? Since I graduated last year, what is my calling? I trust you with this next path that I need to take. Love is mentioned 310 times in the Bible. Did y'all know that? 310 times love is mentioned in the Bible. God loves each and every one of us, no matter what you did in the past. Your past does not define who you are.
Amen.
It does not define who you are. What you did 5 years ago does not define who you are. The decision that you make in the future or the path that you take can define or will define what type of person you will be later on. It will. But 310 times he loves us. He loves us. And he will support you no matter what. No matter what. Cool. This gets me every time. When we walk the path, we have to walk the walk and talk the talk and show what it means to be a follower of Christ. We can't just be, when we take that road to be a true follower of Christ, we have to show it. We have to talk it. We can't just be like, we just show up on Sunday and be like, yeah, we go in front of the altars and we pour our hearts out. We can't just do that on Sunday. It has to be Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. It has to be like in school, you don't need to be a different person in school. And then when you come here on Wednesday night, you're a totally different person. Mm-hmm. You can't be there on Sunday either. Like you need to act it out. Because people will notice, especially in this day and age, they will notice, hey, he's acting different on Wednesdays and Sundays. He's acting different during the week than he is on Wednesdays and Sundays.
Yeah.
And with that, we have to walk the walk and talk the talk. Because being a Christian nowadays, people will notice, like when you slip up, it's like having a big bullseye on your back. People will notice your slip ups. People will take notice of your mistakes. And people will notice, hey, if he's a true follower of Christ, if he's messing up and slipping up, then it's okay for me to mess up and slip up as well. if he's doing it constantly, or if he or she is doing it constantly, then it's okay with me. I mean, why not? Why not? And then Proverbs 10:25 says, when the storm has swept by, the wicked are gone, but the righteous stand firm forever. What Proverbs 10:25 says here, when the storm has swept by, the wicked are gone, but the righteous stand forever, means the true faithful, the ones that, the righteous, the true faithful, true followers, the true lovers of Christ will stand firm and put on their armor, and the wickedness of the world is gone forever. Like it mentioned, like in the book, like the story of Noah, the wickedness was swept away, and the ones that survived were the ones that stand firm in His righteousness. Those are the ones that stood forever. I know I kind of slipped up on what this verse was meaning to me, but like, I know at some point you all, like, you will come to a crossroad at some point in your life, no matter if it's now, if it's tomorrow, or if it's when you graduate. You gotta do what's best for you. For me was, I was letting the world tell me what to do. I was telling my friends, I was letting them have an influence as well. But if you don't know what to do at that point, the best thing to do is pray. Another good thing to do is fast. And then just listen to worship music. If you don't know what to do, just crank up your worship music. Spend at least 5 to 10 minutes in prayer. That's what has helped me a lot. 5 to 10 minutes in prayer has really, really helped me, and it can help you all too. And what it means to be, like our thing for this year is deeper. Why not go deeper in worship? We can go deeper in prayer. We can even go deeper in fast. I mean, I know for most of us in here, like, I think the biggest problem that we have is social media. And I'm kind of off topic a little bit here, but social media, I can tell, like, we all try to compare ourselves to one another on social media. If it's Facebook, if it's Instagram, it's like, those social media platforms, they will show what people want you to show. They don't show you what they're really struggling with. They just show you what they want to show. They want to show what their happiness, and then you're like, wow, well, they're happy, they're at the beach. Well, it's because they just do it just for the likes. I don't care about likes. You should not care about likes whatsoever. That likes does not define who you are. A retweet does not define who you are. But I know I think you all mostly struggle with social media and just comparing each other, which you should not. Christ made you each individually for a reason. He has a purpose for each and every one of y'all. You are all unique in your own way. I know it's a struggle to come up here and worship. You're like, well, if he looks at me or she looks at me, then, I mean, you shouldn't be scared to worship. Worship is a time where you and Christ communicate. You shouldn't be looking at your neighbor. You should just look at your eyes and up to Christ. I know it can be nervous. It can be like, hey, what do I do with my hands? If you don't know what to do, just move around. Just move around if you don't know what to do. Yeah. But back to a crossroad, worship can help you when it comes to a crossroad. There's plenty, worship can really, 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 really help with that. And, I mean, it's rough. I mean, especially, you don't know, hey, what should I do for a job? I know with you all, some of you, are in high school. What should I do? You were like, what should I do to impress? What should I do to make my parents happy? What should I do to make my friends happy? Do what makes you happy. Do what makes you happy. Because that's the most important. If what makes you happy is the most important thing. Also, having Christ behind you makes it 10 times easier as well. Mm-hmm. It makes it 10 times easier. Makes it 10 times easier. And like I said, when it comes to obstacles, don't just fall down. Don't just stay down. Just pick yourself back up. Because life constantly throws obstacles at you. Like life tests us. Like if you're just like one day you're just beat. Like today, like one day, like you just had an awful day, and it just brought you down. Tomorrow's a new day. Tomorrow's a new day. Christ gives us that new day to show how much He loves us. He does it to show how much He loves us. But I just want to challenge you all. My challenge for you all is, which path are you going to take? Are you going to take the one of the world that shows, hey, it's easy, you don't have to worry about anything? Or are you going to take the one God gives you, even though it may be challenging, even though it will bring obstacles? Because, like I said earlier, being a Christian is not easy. You get tested every single day. But it's up to you to take which path you want. That's my challenge for you. Is to take which path you want to take. Are you going to have your friends influence your path? You going to have your family? Even though family is important, are you going to let them say, hey, you should do this? Are you going to let the world tell you, hey, you should do this? Or are you going to take the path that Christ wants you to take? You'd be like, hey, son, daughter, take this one. I got you. When you fall down, I'm going to pick you back up. Like, if you take this one, it'll be so much rewarding. Like, you grow stronger, you grow spiritually, you also grow mentally. But hey, it's totally, totally worth it. That's my challenge for you all.